Hello everyone, this is Uprime again here today. Today I'm going to show us how I process my images from the moment when it comes into my Photoshop after my regular camera roll processing up to the point where I do my blemish removal, how to liquify, the point where I correct things, my frequency separation, and everything involved accordingly. So let's start from it. This is my image, the image I processed, the one on the left side, and the one on the right side is the one that shows us how the image looked originally without any form of processing, nothing, no removal, everything. So we're going to be zooming in accordingly to show us what I mean after I explain how I moved by it. So I'm going to zoom in to the first one, this image first. And then I'm going to zoom into this one as well so that we'll see what I mean. Now, if we come here, this is the background of the image entirely. Also with this, come here, this is the background, this is how the background looks. Now this is when I did my background processing from this to this, and then I was able to smoothen out the background to a reasonable extent, and that was how the background got to this point. That's how we got to this point. So after this, the next thing I usually do is called liquify. I liquify where I want to liquify. As you can see, look at the hair is liquify it, the hair, and I use my patch tool to remove some of the areas that the block could not do justice to. That's the next thing I do. After that, I do my frequency separation. I do it as you can see. This is the before and this is the after. Let's zoom in to an extent and let's see. This is the before and this is the after, the before and this is the after. But before then, I've done all the things I'm supposed to do, basically all the basic things. If you see, the eye bag has been removed, the hair has been liquefied, all those grains that are attached to the hair, all of them have been removed. If you look at the hair, you see there are tiny grains all over the hair, these grains around here, all these weave-on grains and all these things around have all been done at the preliminary stages. They've all been removed. So back again to the image we are using as the major point. Here again, after the frequency separation, the next thing I do is to do my dodge and burn. As you can see here, D and B, that's where I have my dodge and my burn, my dodge and burn. This is where I have them. So you can see this, you can see before, after, before and after. So you can see the image has popped. The image pops. Dodge and burn helps me pop my images correctly. After that, the next thing I do is my skin tone correction. I match my skin tone. There's an action in Photoshop, it's called magical skin tone. That's what I use to match it. And then when I do that, I mask into only the skin, just the skin. After that, the next thing I go to, I bring in my camera raw again. This camera raw point here, what I did was to go to my camera raw to adjust some tones and colors that I didn't fancy and do a kind of primary liquify. Then after that, I also did my color grading. These are my color grading ends. Here, everything here is where I had my colors applied. As you can see, where I had all my colors applied, everything on my colors, before and after, as you can see. Now I masked out the colors from the background because I didn't want it to affect the background. After that, the next thing I went for was my levels adjustment. The next thing I did was my levels adjustment. I add shadows to the image. I go to my levels adjustment and add something to it. After that, I pop my image. There's an action I use that's called highlight pop. I pop my image. All these things, I will show us how to do them in due course. After that, I retouch my hair. I move, retouch my hair. All these things in future, I'm going to explain how I do these little things. After that, I did my hair highlights improvement. After that, I did my lip enhancement improvement. I did my eyeshadow pop, darkened my eyebrow and whitened my eye. As you can see, it has improved drastically. Then the next thing I do is to come to my magical eyes. That is eye improvement. If you look at the eyes, if you look at here, this is a little dull, but here is brighter and more beautiful. After that, I attached something to the hair. If you can see this, before and after, I improved the hair tone so that it won't look faded. Here I attached selective color. I did selective color touch to just improve the skin tone a little bit, because whenever I use my after color grading, I do my selective color. Next thing is liquify. I liquify the part of the hair. As part of the hair I liquefied so that it will look more interesting. This is the general thing from the first point up to this end. Then I went to my camera raw to improve my skin texture. I touched the skin texture. After that, I did my color balance. After color balance, the last thing I went to was camera raw to do a kind of general touch up and then improve few things. Like this. I did a little liquify at the end, and improve a few things around it. When I'm done with all these things, I usually put all my stuff in a group. I just put it in a group. That is just the culture that I don't understand how I'm doing it. I just like it like that. Put it in a group. When I put it in a group, I just click Control Shift Alternate S. Control Shift Alternate S. And then this pops up this way. Everything will pop up this way. So let's give it a little time. When it pops up, what I do here, first thing as you can see here, this is checked. Convert to sRGB is checked. I check this. This is internet standard RGB, no color management. Once it goes to any social media platform, nothing is changed. Down here as well, I have my bicubic smoother. That's what I use. Then I usually change bicubic sharper. That's how I leave it. Bicubic sharper. That's how I leave it. So that whenever it goes on the social media platform, it stays the way it is. Next thing, if you zoom in, you see that the image has its details. Very nice. See, all the details are there. The image looks really original and beautiful. So even the reds, the skin tone, the hair, everything pops nicely. All these things are just other stuff. See this embedded color profile, but normally change this. If you have this in any form, change it to JPEG form. Just check this. This blur should be at 0. Quality should be at 100. So far, so good. That is how I work on my images. When I click my save, you choose a folder you fancy and put the folder, save it into the folder you fancy. So thank you for attending and listening to this class. So next time we're going to do something else more interesting.